Okay, so welcome back. We recorded a video episode based on a lot of feedback from folks on the VWIDTalk forum, where Jan and I did a walkthrough of the mods that we've done to our cars, and it's so visual that we decided today to go ahead and record some audio to describe to you folks listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever you get your podcasts what we've done to make it a little bit easier to understand. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see the visuals in the car, but we're also, well, if you check out our channel on YouTube, you'll be able to see the things we're talking about here. Jan, what did you have to say about it?
Yeah, totally. Thank you for kicking us off. Hello, everyone. Of course, you're most welcome to check out the video on YouTube. If you search for VWIDTalk on YouTube, you'll find the channel and you'll find the hands-on walkthrough. But there were a few things that kind of stood out to us the most, which were the aftermarket mods, and we'll take it from easy to the harder, and then we'll also talk about some retrofits. And for example, if you want to retrofit a feature that is available in Europe that was not in your car, how to do it, what might be the next steps to explore that. So that was kind of the flow that we wanted to talk about. So, Wes, you have a couple things from the ID Maker. So ID Maker, he 3D prints, he designs and 3D prints specific parts for ID.4s. Search for ID Maker on Etsy. And so what features, what things have you bought from him?
He's got a lot of things. The two that I bought were the camera cover that go on the rear. And what that does is actually the reverse light, or maybe the license plate light, seems to cause.
Yeah, it reflects. Yes. The license plate reflects a lot of light. Yes,
and so it really cuts down on what you can see with the rear camera. So this is a little bit of a hood that blocks the light out without harming the camera's field of view. So it really increases the view of your backing camera. And the other thing is the shelves that go in the door handles. So it's interesting. You know, a lot of cars have door handles where they have a bottom and you can stick your wallet or your phone or something in there.
Or glasses.
Or glasses, anything. And so the ID.4s handles don't have that. And of course they would just fall through. So this is a really nice custom cut polycarbonate. I believe it's a clear polycarbonate, and he's laser etched ID.4 into it. So it looks really nice, and it adds a bottom to the door handle, and you can stick things in your. It's a small thing, right? It's inexpensive, but it's great that somebody was creative enough to come up with that thing. I mean, both of these things. So,
and I think that there was one more thing, Wes, that you have. You also have this shelf, like a custom shelf in the front of the middle console, right on the bottom.
Yeah, so that's a tray that goes, right. And the shapes are different. If you have the 21 and 22 ID.4s, that's different than the 23. And I'm not sure about the 24. I've not gotten my hands on one yet. But they're subtly different. It'll still work in either one, but they just don't fit as flush. It's just a little tray for keys or wallet or whatever that kind of takes up that space between your center console and your I guess where the kick plate is on your front console there. Just nice to have a place to put things without them sliding all around on your feet.
Exactly, as you drive. Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Another interesting aftermarket component that we've talked about and we both have is the frunk. And frunk, as the name suggests, it's an extra compartment that is specifically designed and made for the ID.4, ID.5 as well, and ID.3 as well. Frunk.at, check them out. And we both have some charging cables, right? You even have jumpstart cables that fit into them.
And I thought that the jumpstart cables would be nice just in case I guess it's always possible we would have to jump our 12-volt battery, but more for helping someone else in an emergency. But the great thing about the frunk is if you've got a bunch of charging adapters and you're taking a road trip and, you don't want to take up space in the luggage compartment with your charging adapters. And if you put them under the floorboard in that storage space, well, then you've got to remove whatever's in the back to charge. So with the frunk, I think, Jan, you have a level 1 and a level 2 charger in your frunk.
I have both in there. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have junk in the frunk as well. We have, I have actually my Ford for my Mach-E as a level 1, level 2 charger combined. But what would be a really great fit in there is what we spoke about on one of our other episodes with the Grizzly for United Chargers, their mini charger.
Yeah, the mini charger
would be a really great fit in the frunk.
I agree.
But then I have a few other things that came from the dealership, like the first aid kit and a tire pressure gauge and some gloves for, if you get a flat on the road. I mean, you're not going to be able to change the tire anyway because there's not a spare. But you can at least put gloves on when you go check to see if you got a flat. When you're helping someone else fix their flat. So I think the frunk is great. It's just really well designed. And they have a kit.
Frunk.at.
Yeah. So, and there was another Austrian. Go ahead.
There's one more thing that comes with the frunk, which is the gas strut, right? Yes. I'm sure you were about to mention that.
You're wrong. I forgot. So thank you for reminding me. Yeah, the gas strut is a really cool thing that these guys put together, and it fits perfectly. So when we say that, we mean when you lift your trunk normally, your bonnet, your hood on the ID.4, you have to raise the prop stick. What is that called? I don't know what you have to prop the hood up with the prop.
And so you need two hands, right?
You need two hands to do it. So Frunk.at ships a really cool gas strut. They found one. I'm sure they don't manufacture it, but it fits perfectly and the perfect locations to mount it. And so now you can open your hood with one hand, and it opens really nice and smoothly. And I love it.
And no drilling required, right? For drilling. Like anything. It's just the frunk insert pops in, and you would screw in the gas strut.
Yeah, the gas strut screws straight in. The frunk insert snaps onto the anti-roll bar that attaches to the strut towers, and so it's really well designed. And I guess the last thing that I'd forgotten before when we were doing our video walkthrough was that neat little windshield washer fluid.
The top. Yeah,
it's a funnel almost that's built into the top, and you said that's OE and Skoda?
that's an OE component from Skoda. So if you're refilling your windshield washer fluid and you're spilling it all over, especially into the 12-volt battery that is behind it, it's not great. And so Wes has shown an OE component that is that folds up. It's like a rubbery silicone material that folds up and serves as a small funnel. So that's really handy.
Yeah, and I bought mine on AliExpress because I imagine that you would. It's hard to order from the dealerships in the EU.
There was another thing that you actually liked. You were like, oh yeah, this feels like it belongs there, which was the door bumper, the door molding, right?
Yeah. So you mean? Go ahead. Explain what you're talking about because it's called Sport Wings. Is that right?
Yeah, sportwing.com, that's the company that makes it. And it's a rubber piece, like 3/4 of an inch tall, 5 millimeter stick, so somewhere around like 1/4 inch. And it's shaped exactly to your car, and it glues onto both doors, front and rear door, to roughly the middle of the door. So if there is a car parked next to you and they open the door, this helps to protect dinging your door. Well, of course, like if you have F-350 standing next to you, like somebody was standing next to me, then yes, they will ding your door because the weight of the vehicle is different. But this protects the door from dings. So sportwing.com, they have a specific cut for all VWs, most of VWs, including ID.4, and they will paint match it. So it really comes with the paint of your car. This was my third order from them, and I'm super happy. Like the quality of the paint, it's really good, and
it really looks great.
Good documentation. So that's something that it requires gluing to your door, but it's relatively easy to apply.
Well, yeah, it's really neat. If you've seen, most people listening here have probably seen these kind of things before. My Passat came with these bumper strips on them.
Those used to be OEM components even, right? That time. Yeah.
Yeah, mine was for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you can choose from different designs. They have some like silver inserts, and you can just choose your color. So you can decide to paint match, or if you want to go with black, then just whatever fits your style and vehicle and your mood, right? So
in your case, you did your paint protection film first, and then you applied this to the top of the paint protection film. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. And that's a great segue into the paint protection film, because paint protection film can be hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on how much you would like to protect. And I found a company who I used in the past to protect my wife's Tucson Hyundai. It's called invisibleMask.com, and they have pre-cut pieces that you can apply yourself. And it needs some patience carefully following the steps and making sure that the vehicle is dust-free, it's clean, dust-free, ding-free, and they'll tell you where to start, how to stretch it, and how to fix the film. There's a trick that when you use isopropyl alcohol, the glue sets very quickly, so you kind of anchor that point and then you work out from there. So
nice.
And then you kind of squeegee, because this is done as a wet installation process. So you kind of you're squeegeeing the excess water from below the film until a perfect fit.
Wow. Well, it looked like it was professionally done, Jan. You did amazing. You said your daughter helped you with that?
Yeah, especially with the hood, because the hood was a giant piece of film, right? And if you need to align it very perfectly, so it looks great. And I also wanted to do the wrap around edges, because for the hood they had two options. One, that it's cut along the side of the hood, but what I'm finding from other cars, the ID.4 isn't too much. The front edge of the hood is not too much exposed, but the other cars that I've seen, the front edge of the hood was very exposed, and it was getting chipped from flying stones. And so that's why I wanted to do the wrap around the edge, which is relatively harder, because you not only have to just squeegee everything perfectly, but also wrap around the edge on all the four sides perfectly. So that's a little bit more work, but more protection as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks great. So well done. I think I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that myself, but I want it done after seeing yours. I've already got some dings on my ID.4 that I'm not happy about.
Well, what I think could be relatively easy to do is they sell some 1/2 inch, like centimeter or 1.5 centimeters wide strips of just this paint protection film that you can apply on the door edge.
On the edges.
And maybe starting with that, like seeing, okay, so how hard do I think it is for me? And then growing your capabilities into doing something more harder, right? Like, so for example, the mirrors, the top, the painted part of the mirror, that can have also a pre-cut piece. So that's a little bit more tricky, because you need to stretch the film a little bit more. So you can definitely start with doing something simpler and then graduate to the more difficult one, or of course ask a professional to do it for you.
Not for free, though.
No, of course not. Of course not. Yeah.
Asking a professional nicely with money.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. And so then the next thing we talked about, I guess we didn't talk very much about our audio mods with this.
Yep.
But there's an extensive thread, there's a monster thread on the forum. I think it's up to 60 pages or something now about the focal installation. But the summary of the whole thing is that if you're going to be doing this yourself, you're going to need to go do some research in the forum. I've got a really extensive post on it myself. So on page 32, if you're interested. But the focal is a well-known. They're French, right, Jan?
They're French, and they're spelled FOCAL -inside.com. So focal-inside.com. They have a dedicated page for VWs. So our audio is compatible with Golf and ID.3 as well. And so they have different stages of modification. So you can just swap front speakers, all speakers, or do what Wes wants to do, which is swap also the amplifier, or add a extra amplifier.
Right. And they'll sell a kit with the amplifier. So what's really nice about the focal is, for the VW, they sell a focal inside kit that is a drop-in replacement. Most plug speakers are not plug and play. They'll have when you buy the focal inside kit, it's a direct replacement, and it's using the same connector. You still have to drill out the old rivets, drill the rivets out of the old speakers. But I bought, and we went into this on our on the video, but I bought a riv nut tool, which allows you to replace those rivets with a rivet nut that's installed, and you can just put a bolt. I think it's an M3 bolt, and screw the speakers in there, and then you can replace them if you wanted to. Yep. Focal also makes a nicer series of speakers that are the Flax and the Flax Evo series, but those would require a speaker adapter. They're not going to be direct bolt on into the door. And the other interesting thing, and normally I would recommend to buy these things from Crutchfield, but in the case of the focal, for some reason they're half the price if you get them from German Amazon, Amazon.de. And I can pay more to buy things from Crutchfield or from a local installer, but paying double is a tough pill to swallow. So I think we both got ours from from German Amazon.
Yep.
But it's a really nice kit. And you can install an amplifier, you can not install an amplifier. If you're just doing the speaker upgrades, there's nothing to do except take your door panel off and swap them out and plug them in. They're literally plug and play. And some people reported being happy with that.
Yeah. The only thing to pay attention to, and of course, we are not advising on how to do it. We don't take any liability for any damage that may arise from these modifications. But the important thing is to follow the installation manual on irwin.com, irwin.vw.com. Volkswagen has official manuals how to dismantle the door, and the Focal kit actually comes with a good manual on how to do it, and especially when you're popping the door trim, because of course the speakers are behind the door trim. When the door trim is being removed, you also need to remove the piano gloss plastic insert that is in there, and that is super brittle. So just be very careful, very gentle, work in warmer temperature, so no damage is done. So
yeah, it's very easy to damage those things if you're just yanking on things. So
yeah, totally.
All right.
So Focal, that's awesome. We also, as we were talking about these audio mods, because we believe that a lot with the audio mod comes also with sound deadening, and we talked about both the Dynamat. I used also a foam from Dynamat, and these actually change the vibration characteristics of the door, of the interior of the door, and you have much richer bass. I did experience it myself. In my case, I did not use Dynamat. I used Amazon Basic butyl film. If you decide to go with some off-brand butyl film, make sure it doesn't it's not smelly, because then when you're in a summer conditions,
and some of them are made with asphalt, and you don't want
that tar exactly, and that's horrible. That's really horrible. So when you just smell it, make sure that it's good. It's odorless, and that's exactly what the Amazon Basics is. So we just applied it to the plastic molding of the door from the inside.
So I've actually applied mine to the inside of the inside surface of the outside of the door panel, which was a big pain because you have to pull the window regulator out to get in there. You've got a hole where the speaker was, and you've got a hole where that is. But what the butyl film does is it deadens it adds weight to dampen the vibrations, and then the foam actually absorbs sound waves. And you can use both. You can put the foam on top of the Dynamat. I've not used the foam, but I put some insulation in the door, not in the door cavity because it would get wet, but between the door card and the door, the inside surface of the door itself, to absorb some sound.
Yep. So those are now getting into the more harder territory. And Wes also talked about how he's retrofitting trailer hitch and the trailer module. We are also both working on 360 cameras. I did Euro taillights. And for this, there are two options. You can either work with company like Kufatec, kufatec.com, kufatec.com, a German-based company who makes everything for you. So it's plug and play, yes, but you still need to install it. So you can go through the joy of installation, and they'll give you all the control modules, the harness, and also the coding dongle. And so the beauty is that it's relatively easy. It's the easiest way to do aftermarket retrofit. And because they give you the coding dongle, when your car goes through the over-the-air update, it usually erases the coding for that specific mod. And so the dongle will help you restore that coding for the control unit. So Kufatec is probably the easiest way to go.
And it's a good enough kit, though, that you could take it to, if you tried to go to a regular car installation shop, a lot of mod and audio shops can do things like this. But when you're asking them to do something custom that they've never done before, the nice thing about the Kufatec kit is that everything is they'll know what to do with it, right? They don't have to fabricate anything, or they'll be able to plug everything in.
It's OEM, right? Like if you're installing an like 360 kit from them, it's an OEM 360 kit that you would get with your car if that option would be available.
It's the factory cameras and the factory modules and everything. Yeah. So it's very nice.
Yeah, but if you want to get hands dirty, of course there are a lot of threads on VWID Talk, and also we've summarized everything on the GitHub page. So if you search for Juniper Electric GitHub, there are a number of different mods that we are working on with the community, like the Euro taillights, cooling of the phone compartment, and many others. So check that out.
Right. The biggest thing that I'm working on, I haven't done yet, is the trailer. So the rear wheel drive models, at least the 23s and later that I know of, didn't come with the trailer preparation. So there's no way to plug the trailer control module into the wiring. And what I mean by that is, if you don't have the trailer electronics, it's not just about having the brake lights and the running lights. It's also about when you put your car in reverse, having the car not brake on you. I mean, apply the brakes because it thinks that you're going to back into something. So having the correct module from VW disables those things. But unfortunately, those cars don't have the wiring preparation. So you have to run wires all the way to the front of the vehicle. It's too extensive to talk about here, but I'm trying to make an entire YouTube video just on how to do that.
Cool.
I wouldn't have done that, but because I already bought the trailer module before I realized the harness wasn't there.
Wasn't there, right? And Kupatech sells the harness as a separate component, so maybe that might be a good option.
Yeah, and that's another great thing about Kupatech is that I did a lot of research on what I didn't realize they sold that, and what connectors I needed to buy for the trailer control module and what wires to plug it into, and they've just got it all done for you. So it's really,
exactly. All right, so. This was the quick summary. Is there anything else that we've... oh, yes, there is one thing that we have forgotten about. Your wheels. So you got wheels from VW Phaeton, and there is a great discussion about all the options that Phaeton wheels that were available on VW Vortex. So if you search, if you go to VWVortex.com forum and search for Phaeton wheels, you'll find all the pictures. And which ones did you get, Wes?
So I got the Phaeton Challenge wheels, which are 7-spoke. I really like them. They were a year ago. They were still available, brand new from the dealer, special order. And the Phaeton Performance wheels are 12-spoke wheels that are really blingy, and they are still available, special order from the dealer. They're quite expensive. They're $800 and some odd each, but they look really great, and they're fairly aerodynamic. And that's because the Phaeton was sold in the European Union and in China for a long time, even though we only sold it in the US from 04 to 06. So the reason I went with the Phaeton wheels is because I wanted to go down to 18-inch wheels for better efficiency and better ride comfort. Having a higher tire sidewall really helps with ride comfort. But I knew that the Phaeton wheels would support the weight because the Phaeton is a very large sedan that had that big W12 engine in it.
Yeah, they look really awesome. Yeah, those wheels look awesome. So check out on the video channel if you're interested. All right. Anything else?
I don't think so. I know we've talked a lot here, but I think that hopefully you folks that are listening and haven't been able to see the video will understand a little bit more of what we've done.
Yep.
So thanks for joining us, and take a look at the YouTube channel.
Totally. And please subscribe not to miss another podcast, and follow us on VWIDTalk.com forum. Thank you. Bye.